I can say that if I want to, we can not speak about talent so much, but I can say each one of us here or ever the world has blessing, and we can use them to advance humanity in our own way. And I think we have come a long way as in the term of society when it comes for addressing human rights. But I think we have a long way yet to go, including United Nations levels. I will not going to take all my time here speaking about the UN or the problem around UN because it's a long story, but I can say that the UN has systematically problems. Recommendations are made to an offended country, and they have a right to decide if they will continue working about it or they will reject it. I can say that the UN have been pretty silent when it comes to human rights concern, because speaking about all the UN systematically problem is, we can go few and far between, I think. And let me give you some example about the UN. This is Neda Aga Sultan, killed in Iran last year, 2010, for adultery and stoned to death in a public. Years 2009, after the fragile election who take place in Iran, millions of people went to the streets demanding human rights and demanding process and demanding for advocating anti-discriminatory, but the most of people have been killed, raped, imprisoned. I just wonder, when did Neda family go to seek justice? Did they go to the people, to your neighbor? No, because the people are feudal and applied this law, and those law anti-woman valuation. Did they go to the government? No, because the government is implicated in this model. So I think the next stop be the United Nations. Maybe they could, but this life passed in all our people's eyes, and every news channel in the world, CNN, BBC, TV4 maybe, have shown this model until Michael Jackson died. That's another story. So the UN have been very silent when it comes to like to defend this crime like Neda. This is the next example. Those teenage boys. They have been killed in Iran for homosexuality, I guess. That's the fact of this, the fact up of this regime is that Iran has signed the Covenant on Political and Civil Rights, who forbids the execution of the children who are under the age of 19, but they continue to do so. This year's 6 children have been executed, and 140 remain in prison and waiting for their execution. That's why a group of all the world have been started Stop Child Execution. There I am a quiet member. So it works in doing petition for helping those children around the world. Where did go? When did their family go to seek justice and redress? When they go to seek human rights, this is Asia Bibi, sentenced to death by hanging for saying something against the Prophet in Pakistan. I believe to say something against the Prophet because as myself, I can say something about some belief I do not maybe believe on it, but we should have a liberty for expression because to have a celebration of speaking what we want is a very, very good celebration. This is Barbary in Iran. This boy has been killed when the Revolutionary Guard went to the street demanding process and advocating for human rights when this fragile election took place in years 2009. This is Nasrin Sotoudeh, a prominent human rights activist in Iran who's been imprisoned for a month, and she's just there to defend the rights of others. Similar case, Louis Xiaobo, he has been imprisoned in China for advocating democracy, and the Chinese leader have imprisoned him, but thankful God, he just got the Nobel Prize last year, but he's still under the arrest. And I hope you recognize the pictures of my role model, Aung San Suu Kyi, who been imprisoned for 15 years for advocating democracy in democratic reform in Burma, in Indonesia. Who do help these old people when they want justice and redress? Who they go to where did they go to turn when they want freedom, when they want human rights? We have to create, and we need an international institution who deals with those injustices. I can say, in my ideology, one who replaced the United Nations. That's where I'm going to conclude my talk by sharing with you one of my dreams is a creation of an international institution parallels who maybe not replace the United Nations, but who deal with those injustices. And instead of being called United Nations, we can call it United People. So hear me out. United Nations is made by nation states who unite together, but oh my God, in those nation states is include those who are not democratic elected, and how they can take a concern to people when they are not democratic elected. They do not represent the voice of the people, because we have choice anyway. The politic maybe of Friedrich Reinfeldt, he do represent the voice of the people because he come up in the election. So how did a president or a ministry represent a people in the world platform, in the United Nations, or in the Red Cross, when he not a choice of the voices that are not impossible, is a crime against humanity. That's why it's important to create united people. A united people is not an organization, but is all of us here and ever the world come together. So I can say civil society come together and having our voice heard. I can give you one example. Like in Egypt, this year was a year of renewal, a year that civil society have come together, as I said, in Egypt. They come together, they made a revolution against Hosni Mubarak, for example. I understand that in this revolution, people passed away, but there is no any revolution without sacrifice. They do not exist. So united people will be like, we come together and working together, and we can address global issues and concerns in violence, human rights, because, for example, President Ahmadinejad do not represent the voice of the people, or Muammar al-Gaddafi, who do not want to leave this power in Libya, do not represent the voices. So we can take a global issues in violence, in genocide, and in other human security issues like HIV, AIDS, epidemics, and diseases. And I believe, for a come very long, I believe that we have to have the self-trust as a key of success, because to starting 10 years or to do many things do not are to have success in life. Self-trust, self-confidence are the first key of success. I believe no dream going to get back. What is your dream? Did you going to make it a goal? My dream was this kind of civil society to come together, and I will try to make it a goal by doing this kind of sensibilization and to make civil society come together. I believe drop by drop, we can create an option of change, fight for justice and human rights. I believe we can be a voice for the voiceless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.